My name is Edward Richthofen, and I have been trying so very hard
What in the
to
hell?
do the
I
right
agree.
thing.
Where's this going?
No, the other thing. Go back.
Really? Alright, fine.
I'm so sorry. I really don't have time to explain. I have a universe to
Alright, Jerry, when you're right,
Thank
you're
you,
right.
and
Now I'm
goodbye.
hooked.
Hey, what's up, soldiers? My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome back to another video here today on the channel. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about the history of the Tommy gun in COD Zombies. Now, last week I made a video about the MP40. You guys seemed to really enjoy it and got almost 300 likes. So if you guys wouldn't mind dropping a like on this video, let's try to aim for 350 likes for the history of the Tommy gun. Now we're going to be talking about the Thompson as well as the M1927 because they're essentially the exact same weapon, and there have been a few different changes over the years, and things have changed a lot when it comes to the Tommy gun and the M1927. So we're going to talk about each iteration in all of the Zombies variations we have had from World at War all the way through Black Ops 4, and kind of talk about the pros and cons of each of them, and also which one is my personal favorite. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video. So guys, we're going to start off with the World at War version of the Tommy gun, which is the Thompson. Now this gun was available on all of the World at War maps, and you could buy it off the wall for 1,200 points, or you could get it from the mystery box, which is going to cost a little bit less, but obviously luck plays a role in getting it from the box. Now, the Tommy gun was actually one of the most accurate weapons in World at War, and since it had such a good fire rate and also a fairly good amount of accuracy, this weapon was highly sought after as one of those weapons you want to buy off the wall and use it to rack up points and get enough points to eventually hit the box and buy perks and pack-a-punch and all that sort of thing. Now, the great thing about the Tommy gun was that it was in a perfect place, specifically on Derice, not like the MP40 that was tucked away next to a teleporter in the back of the map that cost over 3,000 points to get to. It was right in the first room next to the furnace that most people go out of the spawn room. So you buy 2 doors and then you can buy the Tommy gun on rounds 3 or 4, and that made it a highly sought after weapon. It was going to carry you through the early to mid rounds and kill all the dogs on the dog rounds as well, and become a fairly effective weapon. Now, even in speed runs for rounds, people end up buying the Tommy gun, and even for high rounds, it's a great weapon to have to rack up points, because once you get to the later rounds, it's not going to be as strong. Now, originally, when you buy this weapon off the wall for 1,200 points, you're only going to have 20 ammo per magazine, which is definitely not really that great, to be honest. But when you pack-a-punch it, it's going to double, and you're also going to have 250 in reserve with the pack-punch version, which is called the WAW-BO4. Now, overall, I would say that the Thompson is a very good weapon in World at War because of the accuracy. It only has a little bit of vertical recoil, so it's going to be really easy to get headshots and kill zombies effectively. So in World at War, I would say that it was probably about a 7 out of 10. It's not the best weapon like the PPSH or the MG42, but it was still definitely a very good weapon, and I wouldn't even say it's a little bit better than the MP40 was in World at War. Alright guys, so jumping over to Black Ops 1, the Thompson was in the exact same spot it was on every single World at War map in the remakes that came as part of the Resurrection map pack, or if you got the special edition of Black Ops 1 at launch. Now, the Tommy gun had the exact same stats as it did in World at War. It's exactly the same. The recoil, the rate of fire, the ammo, literally everything about this weapon was exactly the same, which was a good thing, because this weapon overall definitely was just one of those weapons that you want to buy at the start of the round. It continued to be that weapon for a lot of people. Even in World at War, there's a lot of high round records, and people would get the Wonderwaff and then use the Thompson to get ammo to buy the traps when you run the trap strat around the entire map. So overall, this weapon was pretty much exactly the same. Once again, when you pack-a-punch it, it becomes the WAW-BO4, has the exact same ammo and everything. So I'm not really going to dive too much into this one just because it's literally exactly the same as the World at War version. So once again, it's a 7 out of 10. It's definitely a good weapon, and it's great for getting points and everything like that. All right, guys, so jumping over to Black Ops 2, we're going to go back to one of the best maps in zombies history, and that is Mob of the Dead. Now you can buy the M1927 off of the wall for 1,500 points, and the only wall buy location was at the docks. Now obviously the docks is not going to be the greatest spot to buy this weapon because it actually is in kind of a corner and you can get trapped by the barrels that are right next to it. But overall, this weapon is actually one of my personal favorites because of how good this weapon is. Just the base version of this gun, you're gonna have 50 ammo in a drum magazine, which is super nice because you can reload this thing very quickly. It's gonna have the exact same accuracy as the Thompson did in World at War and Black Ops 1, and not only that, but it just deals a ridiculous amount of headshot damage. It has a really good headshot multiplier as well, which makes it really nice. Now for the additional 300 points that it costs as opposed to the Thompson, this weapon was by far superior. You have 350 ammo in reserve as well, which is kind of crazy. And then when you pack a punch it, you get a little bit extra ammo, and when you pack a punch it, it becomes the Speakeasy, which I think is a great name for this weapon, fitting the time period perfectly of 1933 on New Year's Eve when this map actually takes place. I think that the M1927 is just one of those weapons that was perfect to run around Mob of the Dead and kill zombies with. It's one of those weapons that you want to move like all around the map with. It's going to get you out of tricky situations. If you need to clear out a small like corridor that you need to get through, it's a great weapon for that. If you're aiming for the head, you're going to kill zombies extremely quickly. And then obviously it has an amazing pack-a-punch camo when you pack-a-punch it. The overall like ritual camo, it's one of the best looking camos that we've ever had in Call of Duty Zombies for pack-a-punch, and it looks awesome when you just run around the map with it. I honestly sincerely love this weapon so much. You can also get it on Origins. So the cool thing about the M1927, it was only on those two maps, which are considered to be the two best maps in Black Ops 2. So I like how it was kind of exclusive, and it was only introduced on Mob of the Dead first, and then it was brought into Origins in the box. Now you could buy it off the wall in the Black Ops 3 version of Origins, which I think was kind of cool, but at the same time I really think the Black Ops 2 version of Origins is way better than the Black Ops 3 version. But overall, I would personally say that the M1927 is probably a 9 out of 10 in Black Ops 2. I think it's the absolute best version of this weapon. Now, it didn't have a ridiculous amount of points, but if you wanted to buy ammo, you could. And normally, ammo is going to be half the price of the gun, but for some reason, it was 800 points instead of 750 off of the wall on Mob of the Dead, which was kind of a little bit different. It was a little weird, but overall, the M1927 from Mob and just Black Ops 2 in general is by far my favorite. All right, guys, so jumping over to Black Ops 3, we only got the Tommy gun on Revelations, and then it was brought back into some of the other remakes as well. But the Tommy gun was 1750 off the wall on Revelations, right next to the anti-gravity pyramid area. Now, the only way to actually open up this wall buy was doing a small Easter egg with the chalk, where you had to go around and replace the different quotes that were written on the walls in the various different areas of the map, which I thought was a really cool Easter egg. And once you completed that, you also had the trade table as well. Now, 1750 is a pretty hefty price to buy this weapon off of the wall, but I think that it definitely earned its place to be one of those classic weapons that was only available on Revelations and later on the remakes. Now, when you pack-a-punch this gun, it became the Untouchable, and I really didn't like how they changed the name. I think the Speakeasy was like the best possible name for this weapon because of the time period and everything like that, and the Untouchable just didn't really make sense. Now, this had the exact same ammo as the Black Ops 2 version of the M1927 when you bought it off the wall, which was 50 in its round ammo clip, and then also 350 in reserve, which was fairly nice. And then when you pack-a-punched it, that's when everything changed. Like I said, it was called the Untouchable, but it had 100 rounds in the drum mag, which was kind of crazy. And then it had 500 in reserve. So you had a ton of ammo with this weapon. And obviously, combined with Double Tap 2.0, and having double damage in not only Black Ops 2 but Black Ops 3, it made this weapon extremely effective as well and became one of the best weapons once again in Black Ops 3. I remember using this on Revelations all the time, and it was great for getting points, and it was great for getting a lot of, you know, like kills in tricky situations. Once again, it was the same thing in Black Ops 2. If you're going through tricky areas, you're going to be able to clear the entire area out with this weapon and just run and gun with it, which made it definitely one of those great weapons. It had really good accuracy and really good damage, so it just continued to be one of those weapons that was highly sought after from the box, and still one of my favorite weapons to this day when I play on Revelations and also in Origins and Black Ops 3. So that is all for Black Ops 3. Now let's jump over to Black Ops 4. All right, guys, so the last and final iteration of the Tommy gun appeared in Black Ops 4, and once again, this was the M1927. Now, you could only get this weapon from the wall at the docks on Blood of the Dead, so I like how they only kept it to one map, and that was something that I really did appreciate from Treyarch. Now, you did need to do a lot of crazy stuff to get this weapon with dark matter. You had to get 500 vermin kills, which is literally dog kills, and that alone took me like, I think, 8 hours of just repeatedly playing this map over and over. Now, we're not here to talk about dark matter, but it was definitely a fun challenge. Now, the great thing about the Black Ops 4 version of the Tommy gun is, once again, it is pretty good for getting points, and you're going to get headshots, but obviously the point system is so much different in Black Ops 4 that it wasn't going to be as effective as it was in the previous versions of Zombies, and I really hope that we do end up getting the classic point system back in the next Zombies iteration. But overall, I would say that this weapon was pretty much exactly the same as the Black Ops 2 version, but you just didn't get all the points for it. It was going to give you the exact same ammo, 50 per the drum mag, and then 350 in reserve. It also cost 1500 points, just like it did on Mob of the Dead as well. Now, the interesting thing about this weapon is when you pack a punched it, it had 70 in the drum mag, and then it had 420 in reserve, so you got a little bit extra. You had 20 extra per magazine and 20 extra in the ammo along with it, so that was kind of a nice touch. But at the same time, I felt that the Black Ops 4 version of the Tommy gun was a lot weaker compared to the previous versions that we had. I quad packed this weapon, and still I felt like it wasn't able to keep up with all the zombies running at you. As you can see in the gameplay, my Winter's Whale was going off crazy amounts of time when using this weapon in Black Ops 4. It just didn't feel the same, and it just wasn't as good in my opinion. So anyways, guys, that is going to be all of the different versions of the Tommy gun in Call of Duty Zombies history. Once again, my absolute favorite has to be the Black Ops 2 version. Let me know which one you guys like the most down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.